Warning! The following podcast includes spicy content. This level of heat may not be intended for all audiences. No, but seriously, it's hot. Like, spicy. I mean, we might chew food for like 10 seconds, but we don't really swear. And it's not actually dirty. We just talk about hot chicken. So if you like it XXX hot, welcome to the Hot Chicks Podcast. Well, hello, friends and folks, and welcome back to another episode of the Hot Chicks Podcast, a spicy pilgrimage to Nashville's fried chicken phenomenon. I'm Alex Tinker, and I'm joined again this week by my co-host and apparently fried chicken fanatic for what we're going to talk about today, Mr. Gregory Gillespie. Greg, how you doing?
I'm fried.
You're fried?
Fried.
I'm going to need a little bit more than that, man. Why you fried?
With all that chicken.
Okay, we're not going to do the accent. I'm telling you right now.
Okay.
This is just, no. But we are going to talk about this. When you say fried, what are we talking about?
Chicken. Well, we did have a lot of chicken today.
The look, y'all, this is not a visual medium yet, but it's getting there. Yes, we're talking about chicken, Greg.
Yes, we are talking about some DIY, Frankenstein, Jackson, Tennessee, whatever we want to call it, chicken. We have a very, very special episode today. Something we've talked about doing.
We actually talked about this on our intro episode.
This idea has been floating around in my head for years. So today was the day.
I'm more excited about this because this was this was one of the few times where that's great audio.
Sorry.
Greg. That's just,
as you mentioned,
it's such great audio.
As you were setting up the audio, you're like, I'm so thirsty. You said that.
I did, but I didn't expect you to chug half a bottle of water like directly into the microphone.
I didn't realize we were going to start recording.
I did the intro.
Well, I know, but
you did that on purpose.
It would only have been on purpose if it was with that Fairlife milk.
Which we're still not sponsored by
No. We'd like to be, though.
We would love to be.
Which we don't have today. Because we actually aren't eating anything super spicy. Not super spicy.
But technically, we're not even eating Nashville Hot chicken. Technically. So let's just actually jump right into this. We talked about this in the intro episode, and to all the nerds out there that paid attention and listened to that first episode, we love you. Thank you so very much for doing that. But I'll tell you this much. I think we had more fun actually enacting it than we did talking about it.
Well, of course.
But it turned out great. Greg,
well, spoilers.
Greg, what did we do?
Okay, so Gus's fried chicken just opened up in Nashville. Finally. They've been working on it for a long time. We got a little bit of the story behind that. We can talk about that in a second. But and I had for years I've thought about Gus's is amazing fried chicken, but it's not Nashville Hot. So what if we made it Nashville Hot? And several places do make seasonings, but the real thing is an oil dredge. And the only place I know of that sells their Nashville Hot oil is my place, Dino's.
The best, I'm telling you right now, the best dive in Nashville.
Yes.
Bar none, absolutely.
So my thought was, again, years ago, maybe sometime in Memphis, I will take some Dino's oil with me, bring it to Memphis, and eat some Gus's with it. And Gus-ify my own chicken. You know what I mean? And so, or Nashify.
Okay, again, we've been having this conversation for about an hour. It is Nashifying. You're not Gus-ifying. The action is, never mind. Continue.
So anyway, we have a nice little bonus episode for you guys, just a little bit away from our regular system of going to a hot chicken place, trying it, getting a side chicken, all that. So first, this is an episode that is plays homage to both places, Dino's and Gus's, and neither one are Nashville hot chicken places.
Neither.
Right. So combined, we've created something extraordinary, we believe. But we'll start off with Dino's.
I love it.
So,
and honestly, so this is something I was going to ask. I know we have a little bit of history from the Nashville Hot Chicken historian, Mr. Sam Harrison. Which location will we have Mr. Sam Harrison's information on?
I believe for Dino's.
I'm asking, is it going to be Dino's or Gus's?
Oh, he's researched both.
Has he really?
Oh, yeah. So, we'll Sam Harrison, take it away for just a backstory on Dino's.
Take it away, Sam.
Dino's is one of the older and well-known dive bars representing what locals have come to call Old Nashville. It has been serving East Nashville locals and visitors since 1970. Dino's was opened in 1970 by a Greek family who initially operated it as a straightforward diner. Known for its classic diner fare like burgers, fries, and breakfast plates, it attracted a loyal crowd. Somehow, Dino survived both the decline and gentrification of East Nashville throughout the 80s and into the 90s. The diner's core identity as a greasy spoon with cheap beers and hearty food stayed the same. In 2014, a couple of well-known restaurant owners who are responsible for several of Music City's best-known eateries, acquired Dino's and brought it into the modern era, removed the problems of an aging building and kitchen while trying to keep the simple menu, mainly its famous cheeseburgers, fries, and cold beers. Authenticity was high on the new owner's list of goals, and Nashville locals approved. People call Dino's a cultural institution in 37206. You might run into musicians, locals, or tourists, and it has become known for its late-night crowd. In a city that's constantly changing, Dino's has become a symbol of Nashville's older, more authentic side.
How do I get a voice like Sam's?
Takes a long time.
I feel like that man he could read the phone book and I would listen to
So
him.
we haven't talked much about Sam, but like I would love for him to be on. He is like a walking encyclopedia. Sydney describes him as like choose your own adventure novel. He can just name the president. It doesn't matter. Just ask him and he'll just start spitting facts. So anyway,
at some point in time, actually, I would love to have him on the episode with, and I don't know how this is going to happen, but I would love to have him on with Mayor Bill Purcell. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Just to
Mayor Chicken,
like the Mr. Mayor, if you are listening to this, if no one from our team has reached out, and let me rephrase that. If I haven't reached out to you by the time you hear this, just know between you, Miss Andre, someone at the Vanderbilt University Press who is responsible for the book Hot Chicken, possibly even the author herself. I'm telling you right now, I am wholeheartedly. You are my number one interview that I would love to do for this podcast. So, Mayor Bill, if you can, please,
Mayor Bill, come Gus-ify some chicken with us.
It's not Gus-ifying, although I would love to hear his thoughts on it.
I think he'd like it.
I honestly think he would.
So, Dino's.
Let's jump in. Dino's,
just because I am passionate about Dino's. Of all the places we will talk about on this podcast, you are probably most likely to run into me at Dino's. I'm just saying that. I go to Dino's way too often. It's maybe my favorite place in Nashville, up there with Arnold's. And it's a good way of describing it is it's better. Everything there is better than it has any right to be.
Wait, hold on. So okay, so I have always called Dino's a dive.
It is.
How it was just described in Mr. Sam Harrison's run through is It's a greasy spoon.
It sounds like it evolved.
From the original owners to the new ones?
Well, it's been under a few owners. So I think the guy's name before the current owners was Matt, I believe. And he, like, I heard stories about him, it was still smoking inside.
Sure.
And, like, he'd be just sitting behind the counter flipping burgers, cursing, like, just it was that. He's like, like Mo from The Simpsons.
Okay.
And the lady that actually bought Dino's was the lady, I don't remember her name, but she started Burger Up and Frothy Monkey. And she bought it with her employee. His name's Alex. And
not me?
Not you. Not this Alex. And now just Alex owns it. And
oh, she stepped away.
Yeah. And if you ran into Alex, you would have zero idea that she was the owner. She's again, you would expect the owner of Dino's to be a guy like Mo. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like from The Simpsons.
That's fair.
She's like a girl in her 30s, this pretty girl in her 30s that owns Dino's. You just never know. You own this historic dive bar. Here, look at the old owner.
Yeah.
He just passed away. His name's Rick. Sorry. I messed up.
Oh my gosh, he just passed away in February.
Yeah. So he had it for a while, and that's who took over. And the new owners, they basically made it more trendy divey. They cleaned it up just enough.
Sure, yeah.
And so it's been around a long time. So it is the oldest dive bar in East Nashville. And it's got so much character. It's got so much following, like...
Not a joke. I have a very dear friend of mine now, and his first or second night in the city, he worked with me at Gibson. He works over at Carter's now. His name's Noah. Great man, great artist. Shout out to Noah. And first night or second night in town that he got here, he didn't know anybody in town, and I looked and I'm like, okay, cool. I know exactly where we're going.
Yeah.
And he came to town. It was late 2020, early 21. And it was that cool time where you wear a jacket outside, but it's not too cold to walk around, And we grabbed Coca-Colas and glass bottles and we just walked around East, which now I'm not sure you could do, but you could
do it more now than then.
Wow.
It's safer now. I remember when I moved here, somebody shot up the pharmacy with an Uzi.
We're not going to talk about that.
Okay.
This is where the chicken sound is. But I will say this much. He flat out even still talks about that to this day because it's the first place to go.
Dino's?
I
think Dino's is the heart and soul of East Nashville. And just looking at this picture, this is what you'd expect.
That's exactly
what you'd expect the owner of Dino's to look like. And
there's a picture from February 6th of 2024 on their Instagram that we were referencing of Rick sitting, basically a shot of him, a photograph of him from the right-hand side as you walk into the bar.
Right.
From the right-hand side looking to the left. He looks wonderful. He looks proud.
He looks like the type of guy that would own a dive bar. And so anyway, different ownership now.
Yep.
But they've done a very good job. And I would say, yeah, it is the heart and soul. They now, you look at that old picture, you don't see any of the Dolly Parton stuff. And
correct.
They now have a lot of
that changed.
Fun fact, because they have several Dolly Parton things inside. They now have a big lemonade stand in the back. That's a bar. But I've heard the Dolly stuff inside has been stolen before. And they've released the security cam footage, and East Nashville has pulled out the pitchforks and figured out who it was and shamed him into giving it back. I heard it had its own hashtag: Find Dolly, Save Dolly. That's the type of place this is.
I'll tell you. I mean, this is
you don't mess with Dino's.
You don't mess with Dino's. When I first moved to town, back 2017. Yeah, so June 2017.
You beat me by a year.
Yep, I was living in my car. And there's a whole story involving, I'm from Pittsburgh, and there's a whole story involving the Pittsburgh Penguins and everything of the sort. But I'm not going to get into that right now. I'm not going to get into that.
Nashville Hot Penguin.
We're not getting into that.
Okay.
If there's a Nashville Hot chicken restaurant in Pittsburgh, I will call it the Hot Penguin Sandwich. But I'm not doing that right now.
Why a sandwich? Because sandwich isn't hot chicken, Alex.
No,
Come
but
on.
I'll tell you. Hey,
Get with it.
From what we learned at Bolton's, everything's a sandwich as long as it comes without a side. Come on now.
That's funny.
Come on now, Gregory.
Oh man, that's good.
Get on my level, good sir.
You're the one eating penguin.
It's anyway. So
Gus-ified penguin.
I moved. It's not Gus-ified. I moved down here and I was living in my car, and one of the first places I remember going, because I wasn't a big drinker back then, but one of the big places I remember going, like second night I was in town, was I asked a couple bartenders. I was like, "Hey, what is the hang for locals?" And everybody kept saying this place, Dino's. You gotta go Dino's. You gotta go Dino's. Go to East and just walk around and you'll hear it. I'm like, what do you mean? Like, and then I found it, and it was before they did the beer garden in the back. It was before.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah. Yeah. And it was crowded. It was beautiful. There was a bar. There was a bar stool, not a stool. What are they called? Booth. There's a booth all the way on the right-hand side. And it looked like it was a 2-person booth at one point in time, and somebody like snapped off half of it or something on the side. And if I'm totally making that up, I don't think I am. I think I remember it, but again, I wasn't a big drinker, but I also didn't have much of a tolerance. So if I had any, anyway, moving on.
Oh.
I'm just gonna say this much: I don't know anybody who has stayed in Nashville that does not have a bit of Dino's in their blood.
I meet some people that haven't heard of it, that have been here for a long time, but most people just driving Lyft. I mean, like random case sample. And so most people seem to know about Dino's, and not only know about it, seem to be passionate about Dino's.
Agreed.
And if you don't appreciate it, to me, that's kind of a red flag. It's like, how do you not appreciate this place? I get like maybe dive bars aren't your thing, but like Dino's is just lightning in a bottle.
Mm-hmm.
And I know we're not a burger podcast, but it is my favorite burger.
Is it really?
It is my favorite burger in town. Absolutely. And I can't tell you why.
Wait a minute. Hold on. There's so many options for good burgers.
I can't tell you why. I think I talked about this a little bit on one of the previous episodes. I'm a smash burger guy, all that.
Yeah.
This is the complete opposite. No potato bun, nothing. Like, I love me a Martin's roll, and it's just amazing.
Who makes it best? Dip?
Yeah. Dip. If Dip's working the grill,
dude,
man, he knows, because like it can vary, like definitely on the day.
1,000%. Yeah.
But happy birthday, by the way.
Yeah.
Dip.
By the way, we went in today to get hot oil, and we're gonna talk about what else we got there. But it was Dip's birthday, so happy birthday, Dip!
Yeah,
You're gonna hear this in about a month, but still, happy birthday, Dip! You're 35, man.
Man, I appreciate it when you're working the griddle, because things just come out extra good.
I feel like, and this is not a joke, I really feel like that's one of the unsung heroes, the rebels without applause.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
So, actually, to talk about the consistency, that brings me to an interesting part of the story.
Take it.
The first time I went to Dino's, actually, that's funny to think about. I got my order, which is what I always get, which is a
has it changed?
It's evolved, because I've had everything on the menu, and things pop up on that menu for a day, and then
it's gone.
Yeah, but a burger and hot chicken tenders. That's what I get there, and the first time I got the tenders. So this was back before I was knowledgeable about how, in my opinion, I couldn't include hot chicken tenders on the list, because it's just not, like, if you go to a place like Print, it's just not the same thing. So anyway, I was already on a mission. I hadn't even moved to Nashville yet.
Were you still in Texas?
This was when I lived in Texas, and I came to shoot the 48-hour film thing.
That's what it was.
And,
the 48.
And so I had found Dino's online, like sniffing stuff out that I would want to check out. Like I found it.
Yeah.
I was like, that looks like something. Me and Gus-ified went.
Yeah.
And
shout out to Gus-ified Emiliano,
my Nino.
He is the also beloved friend of the podcast, and also host of Hey Rockstar podcast and vlog.
Sorry, light bulb moment with Gus-ified.
Go ahead.
He introduced me to Dino's and Gus's.
No way.
Yes, he did. That's funny. He should be on this episode. We should have Skyped him in or something.
We should have Skyped him in now.
Anyway, so we went to Dino's.
You got your order.
I got my order, and I remember thinking, well, hot chicken can't get any worse than this.
Really?
Because it was just burnt to a crisp. It was too salty.
That's okay.
I am surprised. So I was already making a list, like a hot chicken list.
Yeah.
And it was put at
had you met Hot Chicken Ben at this point in time?
No, I hadn't.
Oh, this is way before that.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I am surprised I even tried it again, but I did. And it was like, wait a second, these tenders are really good. You know, I'm not a tenders guy. They don't have bone and chicken, but their hot chicken tenders are really good.
Yep. And the marinade, they do it all in like they have a drawer with the marinating chicken.
Really?
Yes.
Oh,
I've sat at that bar myself and I've watched them make, like at one point in time, Dip brought in an Xbox to stream something, and it was like Fruits Basket or something along those lines. It was like an animated show. So I sat all the way down on the end of the bar and I was watching it for like an hour and a half. So I would just watch what he was, what they were doing and just watching how they were cooking. And real talk, I remember seeing this drawer just pop out and you could see what looked like buttermilk at that point in time. And there was some kind of red in there. I don't know what it was. I don't know what that was, but I remember looking in it and it looks like a buttermilk. Possibly. Probably. I don't know.
But so that's my order. Burger and some hot chicken tenders.
What else?
That's what I
know.
Well, we'll get to that. We'll get to that.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about what we ordered. So we walked in. You got some hot oil.
Wait, hold on. My order.
Yeah.
Animal style fries.
Okay.
Yeah. Animal style fries. Hot chicken tenders.
Really? So not the burger. But you've had the burger.
I've had the burger.
Okay.
You want to know my favorite thing that I've ever had there? Fried bologna sandwich. And I've told you about this.
Yeah, that's crazy because I've never seen it.
I'm telling you, it was years ago. It was like my first year here.
Did you know Dino's does brunch?
What?
Yeah. And they serve hot chicken French toast.
Get the F out of here.
What does F stand for? Fowl?
Yes.
Bird?
Yes.
Nice.
Get the peacock out of here.
That still sounded...
It sounded pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks.
So, I think it's hilarious that
do they
that
really,
Dino's does
though?
brunch. Yeah. Yeah, Saturdays and Sundays.
They
open a little bit earlier because normally they open at 4. And so
what do they open at? Like 2?
Yeah, no, noon. I think. Yeah. But brunch at Dino's.
Oh my gosh.
Hot chicken French toast.
Don't tell any of the woo girls, please.
They won't go there.
You never know. Somebody will be like, I found this.
They don't actually care
I'm sorry.
how good.
I'm not. That was rude. I'm not going to use that voice. That was not fair to any of the tourists that come in. In all honesty, one of the reasons we're doing this podcast is to educate tourists as they come in.
So here's the thing.
And I'm sorry I used that voice because you don't deserve that. My apologies.
They don't care. Just driving Lyft and picking them up all the time. They don't care if it's the best food in the world. They still want to go to Hampton Social for the pictures.
Really?
Yes. So
just for doing it for the gram.
Yes. So you could
then
tell.
Why wouldn't they go to Dino's and get a picture with the lemonade stand in the back?
There might be certain types of them that would, but most no. So
all right.
But anyway,
continue though.
So I go to Dino's all the time.
Yep.
And so today I said, we're going to Gus's, but let's share some tenders at Dino's before we go to Gus's. So pick up some hot oil, and you got to order tenders to split and some fries. And so we sat down and had some Dino's tenders. And I've had these things so many times. Today they were a little over. They were
just a smidge.
I mean, but still good. And I also introduced you what I'm going to call the sleeper.
Oh, 1,000%. Yeah, that's not even a question.
Because this is a pro tip.
Yeah.
Whatever you're getting at Dino's.
This is one of those things. Please have your order typed up in your phone before you go so that you don't have to stare and add 18 minutes to the people behind you. But add this onto the order no matter how much it costs. It's worth it. What is it, Gregory?
Special sauce.
Tell me again.
Don't sleep on the special sauce.
Tell me again.
Do not sleep on the special sauce, whether it's a burger whether it's with your chicken tenders. It really actually doesn't matter whether it's just for your fries.
I did it with the mop.
Yeah,
I did it with the mop.
you did.
I ate the piece of bread underneath that had all the, like underneath the tenders. I ate the special sauce on the mop.
Don't sleep on the special sauce.
Do not sleep on that special sauce.
In this case, the hot chicken usually comes with tartar sauce.
Yes.
Which is fine, but I usually sub it for special sauce, and that's what you did today.
That's what we did today.
And you hadn't had this, but I guess you have had it on the that is what they put on the animal.
On animal, yeah.
But
I never had it isolated.
Oh man,
it was always in addition to.
You guys are probably thinking it's like Thousand Island. It's reminiscent, but it is not Thousand Island. Going back, and I talked about this on the episode was it BJ Hot Chicken up in Hendersonville? Yes, I did, because they gave the little packets of sweet and sour, or of honey mustard sauce. Yeah.
Right? I talked about this with the Caniac sauce at Raising Cane's, right? I talked about that. Here's why I'm saying this. There is something magical about the special sauce today. It's like Caniac sauce cranked up to 11. It's sweet, it's sour, it's got a little bit of tart from the vinegar.
You said it maybe has some pickle juice.
I'm telling you, it's got dill pickle juice in it. I don't know how.
Surprised. What do you mean? They have pickles, so
I get it.
They probably just drain them.
Probably, but what I'm saying is I don't know how.
And that would make sense because it is not. It's thick, but it's not super thick. So that'd be a way of thinning it out.
Correct, but it's also, and work with me on this mental image. If you put it into a squeeze bottle, right? It would be too thin for a squeeze bottle.
So definitely ketchup, definitely mayo, probably pickle juice, and then other stuff.
And I'm telling you, maybe a little bit of Worcestershire.
Who's your sister?
It's a little bit of the who's your sister. No, it's probably a little bit of.
No, you mean the Blue Hole Road juice?
Okay, we're not doing this. I'm not putting an explicit tag on this one. But my guess is ketchup, mayonnaise. Not Duke's, though. That's too prominent a flavor. You would taste that. Ketchup, mayonnaise, pickle juice, a little bit of woozy, and then adding in a couple other things. But I'm telling you, that's at least the beginning. Onion powder, garlic powder, the basics.
Yeah. So before we go any further, I can't believe I didn't mention this. One of the reasons I go to Dino so much is it's because it's open till 3 a.m.
Yes.
So it is. Nashville is maybe growing in late night options. When I moved here, there were not that many, and there are a few now. It's still my favorite late night option. That's why Sydney and I just default to
It's also one of the only quality late night options.
There's
consistency is you can always go in and have
there's a few more that have opened up. There's a few things that have opened up, but.
Hit me with another one. What's another good one?
So I like Duke's, which is around the corner, has sandwiches, which are maybe my favorite sandwiches in town. But
now where is that?
It's literally right around the corner. You know where that studio is? Wood something studio. Anyway, it's just right off of 5 Points, basically.
Oh, okay.
And but it's off of Gallatin, next to the Emmy Squared, right there. Anyway, it's a dive bar. It's a different kind of atmosphere. It's definitely more about the drinks than the food, but they have a sandwich counter in the back, and it's so good. And for some reason, it takes forever, but the sandwiches are so good. And
hey, can I just also, if we're going to talk about sandwiches and places that I really feel like need to be spoken about, there's a place right now, and I'm time stamping this. It's September of 2024. A place called Mr. J's used to be on the
Hermitage Cafe.
Hermitage Cafe. Remember that one? Yeah, I did.
How was it?
Can I be honest with you?
Yeah.
They've got some kinks to work out. Okay, I got the pastrami sandwich.
Okay,
I looked at the guys and I said, I looked at the person working the counter, and I said, "Tell your chef I want it how he eats it." You know what I mean? Because nobody's going to know better than the guy who has to make it 28 times in an hour. You know what I mean? And when I told them that, she goes, "So what do you want on it?" I'm like, "I want." The person working the counter was like, "So what do you want on it?" I'm like, "I want whatever the chef says." That's what I want. It wasn't a big line, but that's what I wanted. And I got it back, and this is not a joke. Bun, pastrami, salt and pepper. Any other time I would have been like, awesome, great, this is how they wanted it. And then as I'm leaving, the guy, I asked the chef, I'm like, hey, what do you normally get on? He gives me this whole list of a preparation. I'm like, that sounds awesome.
Yeah.
Why didn't you do that? And chef looks at me and just goes, they didn't tell me you wanted it like that. I'm like, come on.
Yeah.
Disheartening.
Look at that. That's in Columbia, Tennessee.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, there's this place I need to check out called Gold's.
Hey, we're not just talking about random foods. We are foodies, so I'm just
yeah.
And I don't mean to talk
Isn't that
badly
good?
about the Mr. J's. The flavor was great.
I've been meaning to check it out because I remember the Hermitage. That used to be one of the only late night options.
That was
Hermitage Cafe opened at like late at night, and they were open all night long through the morning.
That's right.
And so it's kind of like
that was my greasy spoon. That was my favorite greasy spoon.
It was a lot of people's, and it closed. And so that and Dino's. I don't know how many late night options there used to be. Like I moved here in 2018. That was the late night options. And so now we do have more now. But anyway, Dino's for me is still de facto late night food. I mean, I just like how I don't have to worry about it being closed because it's open till 3. And so yeah, I go to Dino's all the time, and it is consistent. It is amazing. It's my favorite burger in town for whatever reason. And like I said, it's lightning in a bottle. I have never bought the hot oil before.
Really?
No, because I go to...
This is so wild.
I go to hot chicken places. What am I going to do with the hot oil?
I find that hard to believe because, well, I guess...
So I got my friend Kyle on it.
Okay.
And he would just start... Sorry. I literally, his ears were burning. He literally just texted me about Reese's or something like that. Anyway, so I got him on it, and he would just take like frozen chicken tenders and whatever and put them in the air fryer and then just douse them in hot oil. That was his like cheap Nashville hot chicken fix because he loves hot chicken too as well. So anyway, he's the one that's got on it, but I have not used it. I have not had really a reason for it. So this has been my first time. So I really wasn't sure what to expect, to be honest. I was, no, I'm sorry. I guess I was. I had it from what he had done with it. But so I did know that it was their hot oil. But yeah.
Well, I'm very glad that, I mean, that might be a perfect kind of launching point because we can talk about the tenders. We can talk about the fries. We can talk about the special sauce. But I think we already kind of did. I mean, dip, we love you. Tenders, I mean, today, I know it was getting kind of slammed when we went. Tenders were just a smidge over perfect.
It's his birthday. It's
his birthday.
Yeah.
We ain't going to say nothing.
No.
And actually, quite the opposite. Like, I would have eaten cardboard if they were, if
Dude,
it was
if
his
Dino
birthday,
sold cardboard, for some reason, it would be good.
It would be great.
That's all I'm trying to say.
It would be great. You get cardboard animal style, I'd eat it.
Yeah.
Done. But I will say this much. So we ate the fries, ate the mop with the special sauce, and then we took our jar of Joe's hot oil.
We didn't ask who Joe was.
No, and I need to find out.
We got no clue.
No idea.
Because
I mean, it's on everything.
Clearly not him.
No, that was, I forget. Anyway, no, we don't know who Joe is. We got to figure that out. So we took Joe's hot oil. We got into Gregory's car. We drove 6 minutes. That's it. 6 minutes.
A mile and a half.
A mile and a half. We took one left, drove a mile, and took another left. And we were at
Gus's famous fried chicken.
From where?
Memphis.
This is the epitome, friends, folks. If you have listened to anything that we have talked about since the first episode, Gus's fried chicken is one of those few moments where Gregory and I put aside all differences. We put aside all differences, and we are on the same page about Gus's fried chicken. My two of my very dear friends, Mr. Bryson and Mr. Colin, they took me to Memphis for my bachelor party.
And they Gus-ified you.
You can't say Gus-ified. It's not the action. But what they did is they looked and they were like, we're going to get Gus's while we're down here. We're going to do this. 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 I'm telling you.
Did you do it?
We went to Gus's and I think I ate so much and my stomach was so full, passed out in the back of the car for like 2 hours. It was beautiful. Gosh.
I thought you waited in line for 2 hours, you said.
Yeah, no, I slept afterwards.
Wow.
Yeah. Oh, I slept out. I had
this took half the day.
Food come. That's fine.
Yeah.
It was fine.
So Gus's is definitely a historic place.
1,000%.
They have locations all over the nation now. But let's just bring in Mr. Sam Harrison again.
A twofer.
Bring him back. Tell us about Gus's, Sam.
Gus's world-famous fried chicken began in the 1950s with Napoleon Vanderbilt, who lived in Mason, Tennessee, just outside of Memphis. And his wife, Maggie, created a secret family recipe for fried chicken with a unique spicy punch of flavor. Everyone in Mason fell in love with that recipe. When passed, his son Vernon Gus Bonner and his wife Gertrude took over the family recipe and began selling fried chicken from their home in Mason during the 1980s. Gus continued to refine the recipe, which remained a closely guarded family secret. In 1984, Gus officially opened a small restaurant called Gus's world-famous fried chicken in Mason. With the crispy texture and spicy flavor making news in Mason, people began traveling from out of town to give it a try. Eventually, they built a Memphis location and spread even further out in the coming years. In the early 2000s, the restaurant gained even more attention, and Gus's expanded beyond its original Mason location. Its first expansion was in downtown Memphis, and then it grew to several other locations across the United States. Gus's world-famous fried chicken received national attention through features in magazines like GQ, Southern Living, and Food Network. It became known for offering fried chicken that was both spicy and flavorful without relying on heavy batter or breading. Its casual, unpretentious atmosphere and dedication to serving authentic Southern fried chicken helped it stand out among other fried chicken chains. Today, Gus's Fried Chicken has numerous locations throughout the United States, with franchise expansions in cities like Austin, Chicago, Los Angeles, and Atlanta. Despite its growth, the chain has stayed true to its roots by maintaining the original recipe, which remains a secret known only to a few trusted family members.
Alex, I'm going to start calling you Nah, which is spelled N-A.
Please don't.
Nah.
Hey, ask me if I like that.
Nah.
Unless that's short for sodium, because...
Do you feel the sodium right now?
No, do you want to know what the periodic table element for sodium is?
Is it Na?
Nah.
And so I've had Gus's, or I've known of Gus's for years. First time I ever had it was in Austin, Texas. Gus-ified took me.
Whoa.
Yep.
That's wild to me.
Yeah, it kind of is. Gus-ified and I drove down to Austin just to go to Gus's because he was like, there's this chicken place. He had been talking about it. Every time, after he moved to Nashville, every time he passed through Memphis, he would try it. He would get some. And then he's told me they were opening up a place in Nashville, which they did. It was in Nipper's Corner, near where I live.
Yeah, where I used to live.
And it didn't last. I don't know why, but it didn't last. And so, but anyway, he took me to the one in Austin and I fell in love. Now, granted, the time I had it in Austin was the spiciest I've ever had it.
Interesting.
Like, I was astounded because I was enjoying it and I was like, this would be way too spicy for most people and I love it. And so, like, this is weird because...
Did you think that was what Tennessee chicken was supposed to taste /
It was just the best fried chicken I'd ever had.
Really?
Yeah. And so since then, I've had it in Memphis. I've been to I guess it's not the original, but several times, the one downtown, and I've been to a few of them. And they put one in Fort Worth, and I've been to that one. And so I've had Gus's. And so again, I've known Gus's is good. And
go on.
If you guys haven't had it before, it is spicy, but not very spicy, and it's definitely just the flavor. It's what they put in the chicken. Like,
to be honest with you, it is an outstandingly flavorful piece of chicken. Like no matter which piece you get, the flavor of Gus's chicken is, I wouldn't say spicy. I would say it's flavorful,
but it does have some spice.
See, I can't even. And that's look at who we're talking.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It does have some heat. Maybe it varies. Today I didn't get it.
I did not get the heat today.
But in the past I have.
I agree with that.
And you know what? Maybe before even he ever took me, I had maybe seen the Man vs. Food episode where he goes there.
You know, during my bachelor party, my nose was running. So it was spicy.
Was it?
It was spicy.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Okay,
listen, I don't like this insinuation you got here. Yeah, huh?
We're just talking about how Gus-ified you got. What?
First off, it's not a verb. You cannot it might be you know what? Let's talk about what we got today, Gregory. You want to tell everybody what we got today before we played Frankenstein at the table?
Well, I got a half bird.
Did you get a half bird?
I got a half bird, which it does not come quartered. It comes separate completely. So drum is separate from the thigh, and so
yeah, drum is separate from the wing, and
it like Nashville hot chicken, it comes on top of a piece of white bread.
It does. It comes on top of a mop. Actually, yeah.
It comes with natively comes with slaw and beans, and
baked beans.
Yeah, and we got some fries. Sydney, they had a sandwich. We didn't get the sandwich. They were out of chicken thigh, like boneless chicken thighs, but it said limited time. I don't know what that means, but Sydney got I think the dark quarter or whatever.
2-piece dark.
Yeah, 2-piece dark and fries and fried okra. And so, yeah, that's what I got. Oh, a piece of pie, which I'm about to eat.
We're gonna talk about that pie here in a second. We're not gonna eat the pie while we're on podcast. No, that would be an audio nightmare.
Well, yeah. Is the side chick not an audio nightmare?
Yes, but not as much as pie, Gregory. That's like, Well, I guess you did just annihilate a bottle of water. So
I'd like to get another.
Actually, me too. I'm quite thirsty after all that salt. So I also got my regular. I got tenders. They had an option for 3 or 4. Got the 4. Did not regret getting the 4.
Question.
Hit me.
Do you usually get tenders at Gus's? Because I know you did.
No.
Okay, because I was wondering that.
No, I don't.
Because the podcast you did, but normally you get bone-in.
Normally I get a bone-in breast quarter.
Okay.
Normally I get bone-in breast quarter.
They don't have a breast quarter, so you get a 2-piece white.
Would it be a 2-piece white then?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah. And honestly, the bone-in breast is one of my absolute favorite pieces. The bone-in breast at Gus's is one of my favorite pieces of chicken I've ever eaten in my lifetime. It is that delicious.
Yeah, and the price is also a half bird for $17.
Not bad.
Plus, and it includes sides. That's actually on the cheaper end.
$16 for 4 pretty big tenders.
Those were pretty big tenders.
Those were pretty big tenders. And 2 sides. Like, yeah. That's a killer deal.
Yeah. Yeah, that's definitely on the better end of.
Yeah. I got also with that, I snagged coleslaw, baked beans. I'm a slaw sleuth and a bean boy.
Hey, sleuthing.
And I'm sleuthing. And I'm trying to think of what else we got. We got the greens.
Got them greens.
We got mac and cheese. I tried some of Sydney's okra. Trying to think.
Fries.
fries.
Oh, fried green tomatoes.
Fried green tomatoes. That was the one. Thank you.
Okay. Well, let's just...
and the potato salad.
And the potato... you're right.
You got the potato salad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's just run through some of the sides first.
Sure.
Most fairly unimpressive, to be honest. After eating Dino's fries, which, by the way, are frozen from a bag, but for some reason are so good. The fries at Gus's were not the same, but the slaw was good. They definitely make it. And not extraordinary, pretty fastball, straight down the middle slaw. Like, I could use a little more vinegar, but it was really good. Beans were good. I
gotta be honest with you, and having tasted a lot of slaw.
Right, you're the sleuth.
Flat out, it was. You could tell they're making it there. You can tell they probably shredded their own lettuce. I don't think that was from a bag. It was too crunchy. It was too fresh.
Yeah.
I wholeheartedly, I would get that slaw again easily. Now, was it up to foul play? No. Nothing is going to be up to foul play's sides up in Gallatin.
Probably not. No.
Probably not.
And
but
so
I will say Chef Grace kind of knocked that one out of the park. I will throw this out there though. Was it better than 90% of the other places we've been? Absolutely.
Well, because it wasn't pre-made.
I agree.
That just pushes it a little bit further over, I think, really, because it really was not, in my opinion, exceptional. It just was
better than average.
Just better than average, yeah.
Yep.
And so the potato salad, which they probably make too, it just needed something.
So I figured out what it was.
Mustard?
I ate a couple bites of the fried okra that was salty. And then I ate a bite of the potato salad, which was not salty. It was lacking salt. It needed a little bit of salt.
Yeah, it just didn't have much flavor.
It was its own kind of combination. I liked the potato salad after I had the bite because it had the extra salt in it.
Yeah. The greens were okay.
The greens were a little bitter.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to be mean. I'm not trying to say anything bad, but the greens were a little bitter.
But you're a green groupie, so you can talk about this.
I'm not a green groupie.
You know the facts about the greens, and I didn't know.
I would like to say I know a little bit about the greens because I've had to cook them several times.
So you're a green groupie.
I'm not a green groupie. I do believe, and I'm just throwing this out there, I do believe that the pork that they used was it was thin enough that it was able to cook thoroughly instead of being big chunks of fat and everything like that, which helps disperse a lot of the fats and oils. I like that.
But you say if it's bitter, you say it was overcooked without enough fat in it?
I believe that it was overcooked. I'm not sure about the fat content. I'll have to do research.
So, fries were not great.
The fries were straight from a bag. Call it what it is.
Yeah. They did throw the dusting on them like princes.
They dusted it, to pull them out and they dust it. And don't get me wrong, that's fine. That's cool if it's its own thing.
Came with honey mustard, which
sure
was good. I don't know if they're making that. It did seem a little bit different than normal.
It kind of seemed like they might have been doing the sauce, like the honey mustard sauce.
They might.
I wonder if they did the ranch because Sydney got the ranch. And it was definitely in the same cup that the honey mustard came in. So I kind of wonder if they did that one. Chef Tori was in the back, Torie. Shout out to Chef Tori from Gus's. He said, you ever want me to come on? I'm in the back. I'll come talk. And I was like, dude, that's such a huge offer. I looked at him and I said, there's nothing like Gus's chicken.
That's the man that Gus-ified you today.
I'm not. You have to stop saying the word Gusification. Okay? You have to stop saying Gus-ified. Like, you have to. It's getting to the point. We are dangerously approaching Blue Hole Road level of embargo of the word Gusification. And any of its forms. But Chef Tori, man, good job. I got to tell you. Thank you for talking to me about that too. And also Miss Nikki, if you go to the Gus's here in Nashville, ask for Miss Nikki as your server. She's awesome.
She was very sweet. Yeah. And she even tried our concoction.
She did, which we're going to get to. So actually, you know what? Let's just jump right in from The sides, the slaw, the potato salad, the greens. The beans were okay. They were
maybe
good.
above average. They're good.
Above average.
Yeah.
About the same. Actually, I would say the majority of the sides were above average.
Yeah. I would say, yeah, the fried green tomatoes. I don't think we could. They were fine. They were okay. Yeah.
They got better after we did something
They did get
to
better.
them.
They did.
And we're gonna get there. But Gregory, let's jump in. Actually, you know what? Before we tell everybody what we did,
we already did tell them.
Right. Before we go into the details, should we hear a word or take space to grab some water and also
crack open this pie?
Yeah, crack open this pie. That way we can, you know what? We're going to take a 10-second break. That way we can put in any advertisements that we might have. And
Fair
we're going
Life,
to
please sponsor us.
Please sponsor us, Fairlife. We love you. Or you, Purity Dairy Farms. You're local to Nashville. You're local to Nashville. We'd love to have anybody. And who knows what other advertisements we might have by the time this comes out. Anyway, enjoy this very quick break. We're going to be right back. Thank you to all of those sponsors. And I know it sounded like there were 18 of them, but just in case, I love that you still smile at that, Gregory. I appreciate it immensely. Thank you for that, because I said 18 of them and you're just sitting over there with a smile on, just like, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
One day, who knows?
Fairlife actually paid for 18 ads during that commercial.
I know, it was wild, right?
Yeah.
Jeez.
I got my pie right here.
Do you? And which pie did you get, Gregory? Well, you just took a big bite. Is that sweet potato?
Dang. I'm actually impressed.
I'm telling you, I had a bite of the. I had a bite of the chocolate chess, and hot dang. Was
sure?
It? I'm positive. Go to town. It's okay.
So
let's talk about this concoction that we did while we're doing this.
So I brought a bowl. I brought a silver bowl.
That's right.
And we got our hot oil, and you threw my chicken, starting with the bone in. You threw my chicken into the bowl, tossed it in the sauce, and put it back on my plate. And then you did your tenders. And we asked for a side of pickles, because it doesn't come with pickles. It comes with bread, but not pickles. And we went in.
And I think one of the cool parts about that is that we went. It's a Tuesday night when we're recording. To timestamp it, I do not know what the day is, but nonetheless,
16th?
it's the 17th, Tuesday the 17th of September, and we went in. When we went in, there were not that many people. They had only been open since last Tuesday, right? And we walked in with Sydney, who had a camera, like a photograph camera. You, who had a big silver bowl. Me holding a jar of hot oil. We told them flat out what we were about. We told Miss Nikki flat out what we were about to do. As Chef Tori was leaving the back room and he was walking past our table, I had a piece of chicken sitting there ready for him and everything of the sort. You know what I mean? It was all right there. And what did we do, Greg? Oh, you're eating. Okay.
Well, that's what we did.
That's what we did. We took the Gus's hot chicken, put it in the bowl, and then we made sure we incorporated all of the sediment into the oil. We mixed it up perfectly. And what we did is we ended up throwing all the chicken all the bone-in chicken together, tossed it in the bowl, true back-of-house style, with the Dino's hot oil, and then took my tenders, did the exact same thing, and bon appetit, and voila, in true Nashville,
Gus-ified,
Mumville,
Jackson.
Yeah, actually, Jackson was the name that we came up with. I have a buddy, Matt Sanders. He's a good friend of mine. And he always talks about, how, Jackson is like right in between, but it's closer to Memphis and everything of the sort. He actually is probably one of the foremost experts on like burgers, much like you are on pizza and we are on hot chicken. He's a burger guy. Like he has a list of like the slug burger he wants to try. He wants to try all these different like local and colloquial burgers. Anyway, all that said, he's from Jackson, so that's where my mind was it's the Jackson hot chicken, but we're also we're working on a couple names. I like the Albatross, the Nashville Albatross, right? The hot Albatross.
The name I like.
Tell me what name you like there, Gregory.
Gus-ified Nashville chicken.
I have so many issues with that, but you know what? It's because it's never mind. So
Jackson works though because Jackson is closer to, it's in between Nashville and Memphis, and it's closer to Memphis.
Agreed. And so Jackson chicken,
yeah,
it's not that far off. I will say this much. Once we ate, I truly believe that I could house. And normally I end up taking a lot of my tenders and stuff. I'll end up taking a lot of them home. I don't know if you noticed that, but like a lot of them I'll take leftovers.
I mean, we order a lot of stuff usually.
We do, but like I'll take a lot of stuff home with me, to have like lunch the next day and stuff. The number one thing that I realized about Gus's chicken tonight was I could eat all 4 of those tenders if they had that level of heat spice. I could eat them all. We had the bowl on the table, and I would rip a piece off and I'd dip it in the oil, and then I'd eat that bite.
Smell this pie before I house it. Speaking of housing, just so you can.
Oh, yeah, baby.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
You smell the vanilla.
Yeah, I do.
All right.
Oh, my gosh.
I destroyed that pie.
Can you chew first before you talk, and I'll vamp? Okay. Sorry. It's just, that's an audio nightmare. I will say this much. Looking at the details, it was light. I'm not going to say flaky, but it was flaky.
It's not super flaky. I think it's a wet batter, which again almost makes it more like a tempura kind of consistency. Your tenders were not super flaky, but my bone-in chicken did have some flakes.
My tenders had some pieces that did have flake, but the whole thing was not flaky. I'll agree with that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you tried.
I tried a bite of your thigh.
What'd you think?
I got to be honest with you, the crisp.
So bone-in or tenders?
I'm going tenders.
Really?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going bone-in, but
well, that's fair. I'm not saying preference here, but I will say this much. What was the one thing I did not try? Was a one bite that I did not try today. The bite that is my favorite piece.
Breast quarter?
That's right.
But you did to get wing.
I did eat. I ate
white, but
it's not the same though.
No.
You know what I mean? Like I ate the drumstick of the wing. And I'm going to tell you this much. We took a video of me trying that after I tossed it. Y'all, you get a chance to do this. Be a mad scientist. This is some weird science type stuff. It's worth it. It's so much fun.
It's not that weird though.
It's not.
It's taking some of the best fried chicken you can get and pouring Nashville Hot oil over it. And they were super accommodating for that. So I mean, you guys we're kind of tired by I think by the end of this.
Yeah.
So you're not getting our maybe authentic reaction. But we were pretty excited about this.
Well, not only that, listen, I geeked out hard. Okay, I did. I geeked out.
He's crashing now, but that's because
he
rode such a high.
I did, y'all, and this is not a joke. You are listening to the kid.
We couldn't get him to sit down.
Yeah, no, I was standing up. I was walking around. I was excited. Like, and thank God for Miss Nikki, and she was like just kind of talking to me. But like, I was a kid at an amusement park at the location, and now you're talking to the kid who just had to ride an hour home after the amusement park. That is how excited I am.
Nikki also, when we told her what we were doing, she was like, I want to try some.
Yeah, she jumped right in and she was like, "Oh yeah, I want to try me some of that." Absolutely. And she did, and she told us, and I think we even got a video reaction of her eating a bite. I'm telling you right now. Oh, and Chef Tori tried it too.
Yeah.
Chef Tori tried it too. And dude, I would love to talk to them.
So first of all, let's talk a little bit about the Dino's flavor.
Before we do that, one question regarding consistency and everything, because you had a couple pieces of my tender.
They were good.
Yeah?
Yeah, I enjoyed the tenders. I mean, they were definitely on the better end of chicken tenders. I agree. I was actually kind of surprised because I don't think Gus's it's just not known for chicken tenders.
No, it's not. It's known for its traditional chicken.
Yeah.
Fried chicken.
And probably not the best version of Gus's I've ever had. Like I said, it wasn't quite as spicy and stuff, but Gus's is really good, and I do highly recommend it. And so we were kind of setting out on a mission, Alex, to create the best hot chicken. Did we come close to that?
Okay. The best hot chicken is a hard thing to. The best hot chicken is a hard thing
because on paper
describe.
it was possible.
On paper,
it was like, this is possible. We could be creating the best hot chicken.
And I'll tell you this much: on paper, right? On paper, it's kind of like, you ever watch that movie, Hidden Figures, the ones with the women who do the math in the 60s to put the man into space and bring him back.
Is that the one with the upside down?
I don't know what you're talking about. There's a moment in it, right, where like if you're working the math on Dino's hot oil and Gus's hot chicken, it's like, yeah, you put those two things together, it's gonna be good. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But, and this is the kicker, I don't think we could have anticipated how well the flavor profiles of the chicken batter worked with the Dino spices. Mm. And that's something I never would have put into consideration until you were tasting them. Now, you're asking me, did we make the best hot chicken? The best Nashville hot chicken? And I have to say, no. But gosh darn it, did we not make the second?
It was very good. You know what? I just realized it wasn't as hot as I would have liked it.
And I think that's why I can't put it in the top spot.
It wasn't as hot. But Dino's, again, when it comes to Dino's, sometimes you get tenders that are really hot.
Sometimes you are crying.
Yeah. Like, it just kind of depends on where they're at and their spice mix. And so when they make their spice mix, maybe it's just not fully even when it comes to them portioning it out. Like, yours was different than mine.
I was going to say, look at the jars that we had. My flavor profile, after I mixed it up and we shook it and everything was sorted, after we mixed it up, the flavor profile that I had on my jar of oil was the one we ended up going with because it was still so different between the two of them.
It was a little bit stronger than mine. And so yeah. So I could use some more spice and all that. But man, I mean, it was really good. It was, if we were to rank it, which we don't rank this. We cannot rank.
We
don't officially rank it, but I would say, I would say it'd be probably in the top 3.
I would agree with that entirely.
I'd say top 3. Like, it is very good.
And here's why. Because their focus is on chicken, not heat.
Yeah.
Okay, work with me on this. We've talked about ribs before, right? And we've mentioned some ribs that are not good that rely on the sauce. Remember us talking about?
No.
Okay, never mind then. There are certain barbecue places where the meat is not up to quality and they rely solely on the sauce to carry the flavor. Okay?
Probably. I mean, meat and barbecue in general, not just ribs.
Correct. Yes, barbecue in general. But
Kansas City. Sorry.
Wow. Wow. Shots fired.
Oof, gosh.
Sorry. Anyway.
I'm from Texas, remember?
That's fair. My apologies. But barbecue in general, there are some places where they use cheaper cuts of meat. They use different cooking techniques and they rely on the sauce to carry it through. Right? I'm telling you this. It's generality. Sure, yeah. If you took the spice out of Gus's chicken, you would still have excellent chicken.
Yeah. But it's part of the marinade and the flavor and just the whole process.
Wholeheartedly. Absolutely. But if you took spice away from Gus's, you would still have excellent chicken.
Yeah.
And I think going off of that Dino's hot oil, right?
Mm-hmm.
You are adding already onto an amazing base.
So let me ask you this.
Yes.
Would you do this again?
In a heartbeat.
Okay, let me ask you another question. Would you go back to this Gus's location without hot oil?
Without hot oil?
Yeah, would you go without?
Yeah, I'd go back without.
Okay, but are you going to try to have hot oil in your hand every time you walk into that?
Maybe not every time because it is an endeavor to have like a bowl and to toss things and everything.
You could ask him.
I mean,
but we also did it kind of intentionally for the picture. Like, you could just pour it on there.
Yeah, you could. If you got, instead of in a jar, if you put it in like a squirt bottle and you took it with you and stuff like that, there are options. Yeah. They have Louisiana hot sauce on the table.
Yeah.
There is not much of a difference between the hot oil dredge that we would be adding on and the same bottle of Louisiana sauce, other than we would be bringing one. Like, if you look at it, like that was. Well,
it tastes different, but
okay, you're missing the point though. Like the addition of a hot oil / sauce would be the same whether it was Louisiana or the one that you bring yourself.
Right.
I believe if we could bottle in a squirt bottle the hot oil from Dino's, I would take that bottle with me every single time I went to Gus's, no matter what. It was that good.
Would you get tenders again?
I loved them. I love the breast. I love the bone-in breast. I love it. The bone-in breast is one of my absolute favorite pieces of Gus's chicken, no matter what, no questions asked. But would I get the tenders again? In a heartbeat.
The tenders were good. I would rank those tenders probably only behind foul play.
I agree.
Of what we've had.
I agree. Now, we are not adding these to an official rank.
No.
But I agree with that with every fiber of my being. I think Chef Grace with the Joseph's tenders are still the best Nashville hot chicken tender.
Whether they were Joseph or just regular, though.
Either way.
Yeah.
Either way.
And this pie was good.
And
you had it warm.
I had a bite of a warm chocolate chess pie, and y'all, my toes left the floor. I levitated. Miss Nikki looked at me and said, "That's what happens to everybody whenever they eat that chess pie. They just levitate and float on out of here." She didn't say that. That was just how my soul interpreted it. But it was amazing.
So Gus's has been open a week.
It's been open a week.
We got the bit of the backstory regarding, because it was sitting there for a long time just teasing us. This building, just Gus's Fried Chicken, like still under construction. And apparently the builders were, I don't know, she said kind of jerking them around a little bit. Right? Something like that.
Well, without getting into it, I think there were, I'll just say, much like the housing market in Nashville, the construction crews and the people who were over the construction might have been giving people the runaround. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah.
But looking at this for what it is, I'm shocked there are not more people there right
also,
now.
Real quick, you said it did kind of remind you of other Gus's.
Absolutely, it did. Yes.
Cinder block kind of building.
It was. They said that building used to be a dry cleaners, and I could see it. Like, it's it's kind of like an old Pizza Hut. You can definitely tell things that were Pizza Huts. You know what I mean? Like it has the shape.
You can't out Pizza the Hut.
You cannot out Pizza the Hut. Thank you very much, Gregory. That is a wise tip for anybody. But looking at this, I wholeheartedly think, just being very honest, it's very reminiscent of the, of a couple Gus's that are outside of the downtown area of Memphis.
It was downright gussy.
It was, well, I wouldn't call anybody that. Let's have respect for our, I don't know if gussy's a bad word, but I wanted to prepare because it sounded like it was with the inflection. So anyway, it looked great. There was a chandelier in the middle of the whole restaurant.
Which I know you appreciated.
I very much did. Do you want to know what it actually reminded me of, though? With the tablecloths and no two chairs really kind of looked alike. It kind of reminded me of Ewing.
Yeah.
It kind of reminded me of Ewing.
Yeah. They had, was it green checkerboard tablecloth or something like that?
Well, at least some of them were green checkerboard. These were black and red. These were black checkerboard and red checkerboard.
Or blue. I think there was a blue.
At Gus's?
Yeah.
Oh, dude, I didn't see the blue
I think
one.
there was blue.
I was too excited.
Yeah.
I was too excited. But this reminded me of Ewing.
Yeah.
Like it has that. I am not saying that Gus's hot and spicy chicken is the exact same as
It's Gus's world famous fried chicken.
my wholeheartedly apologies. I'm not saying it's the same as the original Prince's on Ewing, but maybe if you missed Ewing Drive, this might be a great entry into good quality fried chicken.
Side note, there used to be a hot chicken place. I'm sorry, it's not a hot chicken place. A place called Harold's.
What?
Yeah, right.
Where?
Right off Dickerson.
By the way, this restaurant, Gus's, is right on Dickerson.
Yeah. And okay, let me see if I can get this right. Harold's is a fried chicken chain from Chicago that had a location here that did Nashville Hot Chicken.
Whoa, wait.
And it's not open anymore.
It was a Chicago place, but when they moved here, they did hot chicken.
Hot chicken was on the menu. And
Wild.
I didn't even know it was a Chicago place because when I moved here, it's like, oh, there's Helen's and there's Harold's.
Sure.
You know what I mean? It just seemed like one of the hot chicken places. And I never went. And now it's closed. But there are still Harold's chickens in Chicago. And so, anyway, side note, that was on Dickerson, but now we have this. And so yeah. Now, here's another question, Alex. Do you think they should just add this to their menu?
Okay.
Or do they have something to prove by being Memphis chicken that don't need no Nashville spice?
Can I be honest with you? I mean, honestly.
Please be honest.
Thank you. I honestly believe that it would be doing the culture of Nashville hot chicken a huge service if they brought a Nashville tiered hot chicken section, right?
Just make it Nashville hot, add $1.
Make it Nashville hot, add $1, extra hot, add $2.
You'd pay $2 for extra hot.
I would absolutely pay $2 for extra hot.
So
now hold on. But here's why I'm going to say this though. Would I want that in a heartbeat? Do I think they should do it? Not at all. Do you know why?
Culture?
No.
History?
If anything, it's a second generation family owned recipe passed down, right? Chicken restaurant.
From Nah.
Yeah, from Nah. But I mean, that's the thing. It's, if anything, I think it would add to the culture, right? Being that it technically opened in 1984, right? So, but here's why. I think it would tank the majority of the Nashville hot chicken restaurants who focus, again, like I was talking about with the barbecue sauce, they put too much of an emphasis on the hot and the spice. And sometimes they can overcook chicken in certain environments. Think about how many episodes we've done so far and how many we have deferred on because it was just a little bit overcooked, right?
Yeah.
I have not been to a Gus's where they have overcooked chicken to where it is not Gus's.
Right.
So I think if they came into the Nashville hot chicken scene and only did 1 heat, 2 heats, that's it, right? It would tank the remaining industry because it would force everyone to raise their standards, much like Chris Lilly, Chef Chris, and Chef Grace are doing with creating excellent product. And all these small places, they can't do that.
I don't think it would, but I do think I think it should, but I don't think it would. I think people just probably wouldn't care enough. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, I don't... Remember, Gus's opened here, and it didn't last time. And so, just by having really good fried chicken. And so, which is crazy to me. So here's another question. Do you think this time it's going to last?
This is time-stamped in 2024, September. I believe that Dickerson Pike is in a renaissance right now.
Mm-hmm.
I believe that with the development on the Germantown side of the river, that as building continues, Dickerson Pike is going to start really taking off, much like it already has. Now we have the motel. Is it the dive motel is a bar, and it's a whole vibe and everything like that.
Never been inside, but
I did a show there, or a couple shows for.
Is that place not old?
Live to Vinyl? What? The Dive Motel?
Yeah.
It's old-ish, but I mean, it's a great motel. It's got awesome venues, and if you're looking for a small little venue with like a room that you could probably put like 50, 60 people in, max, yeah, maybe not even 50.
I don't know anyone named Max.
Great little place, you know. But it's great, and it's on that road. When I told Jordan where we were going, that's my wife. She grew up in Nashville. I told her where we were going, and she goes, "Oh, that's where Women of the Hour used to be."
Yeah, Sam Harrison once told me that's where they all got forced. They all got pushed to that side of town.
Oh, the call ladies.
Yeah.
Call partners. Yeah, no, but that's the thing. That's what Nashville, like, that's what it used to be. Do I think it's gonna work? I think Dickerson Pike is in a renaissance right now, and I think that restaurants around it that are doing very well, such as, hey, call it what it is here, Redheaded Stranger is close enough. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Redheaded Stranger having one of the best burgers in Nashville, as you said. I haven't tried it.
Oh, yeah.
But having one of those, having some of the best breakfast tacos I've ever had in my lifetime. You know what I mean? Like, I'm telling you right now, having great restaurants like that around, you know, this restaurant is only going to emphasize the quality of Gus's. And with the legacy Gus's already has, people that are coming here from LA, from Texas, from Atlanta are already familiar with the Gus's brand. That's something that they can bring with them and kind of have ties. I think it's going to stay.
Okay.
I think it's going to stay.
I hope so.
I'm not just hopeful here, but for the level of quality that we had today, I think we're in it for the long haul here.
You think that was a bad location before?
Absolutely.
Okay.
I don't think the crowd south of town who only associate chicken like that with Hattie B's, gotta call it as I see it. You know what I mean? Like, think about it. Nipper's Corner.
Well, it's also down the road from Prince's. Like,
it is
like almost within eyesight.
I mean, when we talked about Prince's, when we went to the outlets. We still need to do the episode on the one that's on Nolansville, but they're so close to.
Yeah. I think
Anyway.
we should wait till we do the one if they open it on Jefferson.
The new one on Jefferson.
Whenever that happens. Yeah.
By the way, Miss Andre and team, please, we love you. If you can, we would love to be a part of the Jefferson launch and open. We would love to do an interview. Please reach out to us. But Gregor, we've been talking about this for so long. I gotta say, for a weird combination,
It worked.
What do you think?
I think I think we should. I'm hopeful that this influences, I should say, other people to do this, because I don't know. I just think there's other people like us out there, and maybe they didn't think of the idea, but I think that they should do it.
This is wild to say. All the locals know this, but you know, if you're kind of uniquely in a place where you're going to be in the Nashville scene for the holidays and such, things get pretty slow.
Yeah.
Between like the second week of December and the end of January.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So I'm just throwing this out there. You want a time to try it? By the time this episode comes out, it's going to be end of Halloween. You only got 4 weeks left of, you know, all the hustle and bustle. But start planning it, because you go get a $15 jar of oil, and you put it, you know, you make your squirt bottle or what have you. I'm telling you, it'll last you a couple times. Go get some Gus's, take it with you. And not only that, I hope this inspires people to do this with places that do have chicken that don't have spice to it. Maybe there's another place that we don't know about, right? Butcher and Bee used to have a Korean fried Cornish game hen.
Oh, don't mess with the Korean fried chicken.
No.
They know what they're doing.
But this is what I'm saying, like get creative.
Willie Mays.
Like, why does it have to be just in Nashville? Get that oil and take it with you. And then just go to town, have fun. This was one of the few times, we cannot rank this, but if we could, I think it would be easily top 3. I think between Foul Play, Lily's, and this,
it's some good chicken.
That's some great chicken. You have inside Davidson County, outside Davidson County, and create your own DIY chicken.
Jackson
chicken. I love it.
All right.
On that note, friends, folks, and fellow poultry fanatics, be safe, keep it spicy, and as always,
get Gus-ified.
Envy, lust, gluttony, pretty babe, we're far from free. The 7 deadly sins of loving you. Wrath, greed, sloth, and pride. Don't hang me for a ride. Please, babe, say you feel it too. Envy, lust, gluttony, pretty babe, we're far from free. The 7 deadly sins of loving you.